Hi, Maryam. Great to have you here. So today we are here with so many insurers to talk about physical risks in insurance. Tell me more about it.
Well, you know that risk of extreme events is it's rising, and part of it obviously is climate change, how it's leading to higher frequency, severity, and location of these extreme events. But I think one of the main reasons is how vulnerability and exposure is going up in the way that we build, and we are moving people and assets into high-risk areas, aging infrastructure, interlinkages in supply chains. So when we look at physical risk, traditionally we've looked at direct risk, but now we are seeing that there are indirect risk and there are compounding risk that needs to be managed.
So what can you really do to manage these risks?
Well, one of the first things is, as you know, these days there's a lot of concern about affordability, accessibility, and availability of insurance. So the very first thing, we need to make insurance premium risk-based, because the signal from the higher premium is a signal to the level of risk that needs to be managed. And to do that, we need to think about a holistic approach to make sure we reduce existing risk and we prevent new risk. Let me give you a quick example. So we know that we are now moving towards investing trillions of dollars in decarbonizing the economy. That translates into a number of industrial scale projects and infrastructure systems to decarbonize the economy. Where are we going to build these? And that decision of where I build and how I build is going to be foundational to the resilience of these systems as we look ahead. So we need to build resilience in whatever we are building forward and retrofit what we've already built.
Absolutely. And so what is the specific role that insurers must take in this journey?
Well, insurance is part of a system, ecosystem of players who create the risk and manage the risk, and insurance is on the managing part of the risk. So when you think about it, I think there are many different players. Let's take the industrial sites. You know, you have government which zones the land, which allows where you can build, and then comes up with policies around how to build, the building codes. There is a huge role for governments to play in that regard. If you're an industrial, if you're a corporation and you're investing in building these sites, you have a critical role to make sure you build resilience in the design of the project. And then that's what will make your project insurable. And so what can insurers do? I think there is a lot that they are doing today. But as we look ahead, I think there is need for investing in forward-looking climate risk analytics tools that allows insurers and clients to look at potential scenarios of what could happen. Significant amount of research is happening in the industry on research on adaptation and resilience. This is foundational, and we need to make sure this information is shared with homeowners, with industrial clients, with governments, and then at the end, insurance can play a huge role to incentivize solution, to incentivize risk reduction. But I think your incentives alone, you know, if you have an insurance premium that goes from 1,000 to 800 is not enough. So this is where insurers have to work with investors, with governments, and other critical stakeholders that play a role to make sure that they bring the incentives to the play. Because at the end, no insurance, no finance, no project, no decarbonization. So we better make sure it's resilient, and insurance will be sustainable as we look ahead.
Thank you, Maryam, for being with us at COP28.
Thank you. Pleasure.